Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school. And wowee, we have a show for you today.
I sure hope so. You know, Steve McRae was supposed to be our guest today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead, Steve has decided to go on with his show about the definition of atheism, because that should just be Steve's new channel name.
The definition of atheism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or agnosticism, something like that. Or, yeah.
Well, maybe he'll join us later.
I sure hope he'll join us later.
Otherwise, we'll have to change the name of the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Real bummer.
That would be too much work.
Without. Yeah. So, 100-point show.
100-point show. Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. My 100-point show question is, what verses in Revelation show the battle between Michael and Satan? I just fucking...
Yeah, I mean, I'll find it.
Eventually, after you read through all of Revelation.
Ooh, this isn't even Revelation.
That's
this
not
is
Revelation. That's a glossary.
Yeah, why is there a glossary in this Bible? Why haven't we been
The good thing is,
the glossary
we
in
don't
this
need
Bible?
a glossary because we have a companion. And the companion is basically a glossary.
Looks like chapter 20, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's talking about an
time's
angel.
up.
So chapter 20.
Time's up. I don't even think it is in chapter 20.
It literally says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years."
What verses were those?
Verses 1 and 2.
No, not it.
Oh.
No.
Well, that's interesting. This is just a Tartarus story.
It is really fucking interesting. I like. I've been reading a lot of stuff about apocalyptic literature this past week, so it's been very interesting actually.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff on Revelation, obviously, Book of Daniel too, the Similitudes of Enoch. There's another one. Lots of good stuff. So, you lose. What is your 100-point show question?
All right. What verse in Genesis references when Enoch walks with God?
Oh. Fucking Genesis 6. Is it 6? I think it's 6. Genesis 6:9? Or 6:4. 6:4. I'm going to go with 6:4. Is it 6:4? Come on, man.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
Damn it.
Yeah, nope.
Damn it.
That's not the Enoch line.
Damn it.
No. Enoch. Let's see.
All right. Well, you could be looking for.
Yep.
524.
524.
Oh, 524.
And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him.
Gotcha.
Oh,
What's
you
up?
do?
How many times was Nephilim brought up in the Masoretic texts?
In the Masoretic text.
And translations of it.
Twice.
Yeah, I think it was 2 or 3 times.
It was 3 times in the Septuagint.
Was it? Okay.
Yep, he's right. It was 3 times in the Septuagint, 2
Okay.
times in the Masoretic.
We got a subscriber. Who's that? What's the name on that?
I missed that. Thanks, though.
Thanks.
Something Thompson, I think. I think it said Thompson.
Yeah,
Thank you for
something like
abandoning God.
Thank you.
So that is the 100-point show for today, and I still really hope that Steve shows up at some point, like he said he would yesterday when we confirmed the time. So
Yeah.
really, really hope he does.
He's got his thing going.
He does. He does have his thing going. Even though knowing that, never mind. Okay.
We should get Joe Rogan. He's pretty popular.
That would be cool if we could get Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it would.
Our popularity.
Yeah, probably. So if you guys do not remember, we certainly remember that we still have our 666 demon summoning drive. Once we hit $666 in tips, we will summon a demon, and right now we are at about 300, a little over 300.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about nearly halfway there.
Nearly halfway there.
Woo.
Also, I do actually want to take a moment to shout out something because
Okay.
we didn't on the last stream. I know, right? We didn't. It's crazy. So we actually have a live stream channel.
Yes, we do.
And I streamed on it yesterday or the day before. And it's just good fun, laid back, relaxed. If you want to if you want to interact more with us, you can do it there on the live stream channel because we not only pay attention to the chat, but we actually talk to the chat. It's not like a show. It's just more for that. And it's the channel is called MKE Atheists Live, and MKE Atheists is one word, and then live is another separate word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't that exciting? And if anything really, really, really interesting happens on there, we'll probably cut it and put it on this channel. So
Probably nothing as of yet has happened.
you will surely see some live content at some point.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you can't escape it. In fact, if you're watching this right now,
You're watching live content.
Yep. Anyways, anything else? Any other big announcements?
Well, there's one thing actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I finished a classical mythology episode,
Yeah.
and it is going to be posted on Tuesday, and you're gonna get that on Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Standard. That's when it's coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm also working on the Last Forged Fiction video, and we're still working on the Golden Calf video, and you're still reading through a lot of material for the Esoteric Nazi.
Yeah.
Video or
I
videos.
have like many dozens of PDFs and now a few books. And
Yeah.
thanks for
Yeah, thank you, Landon. Landon
Yeah.
got us something nice for
Yeah, we got Re-Enchanted Science about German holism and the history of science. It should help.
yeah. So, and aside from that, I'm going on the DP 24-hour show. I think it would be on the 1st.
Oh.
That I'm going on. Yeah.
And we're supposed to have Ben eventually, aren't we?
Yeah, I did talk to Ben. He said that he would come on, but I have to confirm a date.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we need to get TJ.
That'd be cool if we can get TJ. I don't think TJ is gonna be up for that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares enough. Although on the 13th, we're getting a special guest in here,
Yeah?
David Smalley.
David Smalley.
Yeah, the host of Dogma Debate.
The host of Dogma Debate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Pretty big name. I met him a few years ago at Gateway to Reason. So, yeah. that's
Excellent.
that. And that is the announcements. Let's jump right in to the Bible. I have the English Standard Version.
And I have the only good version, the King James Version.
Of course.
Yes.
I have an internet.
Chris has the internet, but Chris won't be reading because he can't read.
Oh yeah. I use the internet.
We also have the Holy Scriptures according to the Masoretic text, a new translation with the aid of previous versions and with constant consultation of Jewish authorities.
You did it.
Yes, I did. I read
I
that
did it, but
because I can read. We have the new
Are
King
these all
James Version.
based on the Masoretic text?
No, some of this is based on Septuagint. Some of it. Sometimes we include like Dead Sea Scroll kind
Right.
of stuff. Oh wow!
Thank you, Ellis.
Ellis with the $24.99. That is fantastic. Thank you, Ellis.
That
Wow.
is
I haven't seen you do that
fantastic.
in a while.
Yeah.
It's a
What?
weird animation.
Which one popped up? Oh yeah, the surprised Chris.
Yeah. Seen that in a while.
Yeah. Thank you, Ellis. And Ellis got us a good amount of books from our wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really awesome of him. Lots of great info in there.
Yeah, we
those
should be
books,
able to add some stuff from that into your book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have the New King James here. We have the Old Testament Survey from the New Interpreter's Bible. We have the Oxford Companion to the Bible, and Unfolding the Deuteronomistic History by Anthony Campbell and Mark O'Brien.
And the King James Version is the only reliable translation given to us by God.
Absolutely. It was fucking goddamn. God spoke to Moses in English.
Yes. Where are we on the 666 goal? We're at
We're
about
over halfway.
333. We're a little over halfway. Oh,
I think we might actually be halfway now.
okay. We're at about 333.
Yeah. I'm just kind of doing quick math.
Yeah, he has it
we're
tallied.
about halfway. Yeah. So let's jump right in to this story. We have a good amount of chapters today.
Yep, I'm going to be reading chapter 13 here.
Yep. Let's
All
jump
right.
right into it. Chapter 13.
Woo!
You jumped in, dude.
That was
I
awful.
jumped in.
Don't do that.
And it
Ever
came to
again.
pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her.
So,
What?
just right off the bat.
This guy's trying to fuck his sister,
Yes.
and she's not giving it up.
Right.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that so Absalom and Amnon are both described as David's son, but like they're separately described as David's son,
Yeah.
David's sons, and Tamar is kind of listed, is kind of put into the same box as Absalom,
Yes.
and then Amnon. So maybe it's like a stepbrother kind of thing.
Well, you got to keep in mind that David had a lot of children
He did.
from a lot of women.
Yes.
So I'm assuming that this is Amnon's half-sister
I'm also assuming. that,
and
yeah.
Absalom's
We could be
full
wrong.
sister.
We could be wrong. We could go back and check, but it doesn't really help.
Right.
It doesn't really make it any better. Maybe like an iota better, but still, it's not. This
We're
dude's
missing the bigger picture if that's what you're talking
Right.
about.
Amnon's all like incest is wincest. So
But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemiah, David's brother. And
that's
Jonadab,
his cousin.
yeah, was a very subtle man, first cousin. He's a very subtle man. And he said unto him, Why art thou, being the king's son, lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister.
The thing is, it's his sister too. So this is like.
At least
it's probably a
Abraham.
stepsister. It's probably a stepsister.
At least Abraham was willing to admit that Sarah was his half sister.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's just
Good,
in
honest Abe.
This guy's just in complete denial. And Jonadab said unto him, Lay thee down on thy bed, and make thyself sick, and when thy father cometh to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come, and give me meat, and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it, and eat it at her hand.
Fucking sneaky.
Ooh.
That's not sneaky.
Yeah. That's,
Gross.
Well, it's. Well, You'll get there. We'll get there.
yes.
Please continue.
So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. And when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come, and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand.
Watching her cook.
Yep. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house, and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it, and made cakes in his sight, and did bake the cakes. And she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, Have out all men from me. And they went out every man from him. And Amnon said unto Tamar, Bring the meat into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. And
So now they're alone. He just kicked everybody out, right?
yeah,
Now they're alone in the room, and she's cooking him stuff.
Yep, and he wants to eat out of her hands.
Yes.
And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them into the chamber to Amnon her brother. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, "Come lie with me, my sister." And she answered him, "Nay, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly." Apparently it was okay when Abraham did it, but not okay here.
Well, yeah, because remember we went over the list of
Right.
people in your family you couldn't fuck?
Right.
But it had to be very specific.
And they have these rules now. And I, whither I shall cause my shame to go. Whither shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. Howbeit, he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and lay with her.
Rape. This is
Rape.
horrible.
Rape. He raped
Flat
her.
up.
Yep.
Straight up.
There
Yep.
wasn't any, like,
He just straight up rapes her.
there.
Yep, that was just... Yeah, so this entire first story was the story of how... Or we're not done with the chapter yet.
We're not done with the chapter
I
yet.
know. But this first section is just the story of how Amnon raped Tamar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Amnon...
Taught this in any other Bible schools.
I don't remember any I mean, I guess I was at a Sunday school, kind of. It was really weird. It was just like a fucking summer camp. And,
Bible camp.
yeah.
You went to Bible camp. I never went to Bible camp.
I did. It was to like a Lutheran camp. I don't know why my parents...
You
I
could have
don't
gone
know
to
why
a...
my parents
There are
sent me there.
several Jewish camps.
I know. I don't know why my parents sent me there. It was just weird. I don't know. Maybe those...
Did you meet people?
Maybe those cost more or something.
There's
I met a lot
like-
of stupid people.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So,
Anyways.
yeah,
Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, Arise, be gone. And she said unto him, There is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. But he would not hearken unto her.
wait, hold on. So, he raped her,
Yes.
and then was like, now I fucking hate you.
Yep.
And then she seems more hurt by him
kicked out?
getting kicked out?
Yeah.
What?
Fuck. Somebody has their priorities mixed up.
This shit didn't happen. This shit never happened.
Yeah,
Nothing
this-
like this would ever fucking happen.
No, never. Ugh. Then he called his servant that ministered unto him. Also, all those people who were like, oh, the Virgin Mary, that's just saying like she's a young girl. Well, they described Tamar as a virgin.
Yeah.
So does that imply here that this grown-ass man just raped a child?
Well, the thing is, it depends on the word that is being used in
Right.
Hebrew. So I'm not sure where that's being translated.
Let me check
from.
the Jewish version.
Because yours says virgin, mine also says virgin.
Right.
So we can definitely check on that. But while you do that, checking from the Masoretic text,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know what I was even thinking while you do that.
While I
just,
do
you're
that.
just checking that.
Yeah, second that.
I'm
horrible.
I'm just here to I don't know, I guess provide not dead air, and I like what the chat's
Yeah,
saying.
it says that she's a virgin in this one, too.
Okay, so probably just says virgin. So it does not necessarily imply that she was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like what the chat's saying. Hashtag blame the Bible.
Hashtag blame the Bible.
This is, I don't know, there's been bad stuff. This is on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. This is on the list of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Nick's gotta hear about this. Jesus isn't
You-
getting anything told us.
You heard it here first. Guys,
Also-
everyone, this is on the list of bad stuff.
David is such a great father.
Amazing.
Oh,
Just wonderful.
Terrible.
dear.
Then he called his servant that ministered unto him and said, Put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her. And she had a garment of diverse colors upon her, for such robes were the king's daughters that were virgins apparelled. Then his servants brought her,
virgins were like dressed in a certain way,
as long
as
as
if to signal
Yep,
that they were
virgin
virgins.
yes.
Virgin signaling.
Also, it describes this thing of diverse colors, and I think it's probably the same word that was used for Joseph and his
Probably.
coat of diverse colors.
Many colors.
Then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her. And Tamar put ashes on her head and rent her garment of diverse colors that was on her, and laid her hand on her head, and went on crying. And Absalom, her brother, said unto her, Hath Amnon thy brother been with thee? But hold now thy peace, my sister. He is thy brother. Regard not this thing. So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so even her other brother's like, well, he
He's
raped
your
you,
brother.
but he's your brother.
He's your brother. He's your family. You gotta love your family.
Yeah. And Absalom spake unto his brother Amnon neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon because he had forced his sister Tamar.
Wait, so Absalom is apparently, okay, so Absalom is like, I'm angry with you, Amnon, but he's telling his own sister not to be angry with him.
Right.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
Is he bearing the burden of anger or something?
I'm not sure. What are you doing over there? Making noises?
Making noises, but they're not.
That is what you were doing.
Yeah.
If anyone hears
I
those
feel like
noises, give Chris a hard time
Yeah,
for
give
it.
Chris a hard time, because he's,
I'm just getting batteries for later. Are you really that mad?
this might
Yes.
be annoying is what I'm saying.
Well, now's a good time.
Anyways, and it came to pass after 2 full years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal-Hazor, which is beside Ephraim. And Absalom invited all the king's sons. And Absalom came to the king and said, Behold!
Behold!
Oh,
Now thy servant hath sheep shearers. Let the king, I beseech thee, and his servants go with thy servant. And the king said to Absalom, Nay, my son, let us not all go now, lest we be chargeable unto thee. And he pressed him, howbeit he would not go, but blessed him. Then said Absalom, If not, I pray thee, let my brother Amnon go with us. And the king said unto him, Why should he go with thee? But Absalom pressed him that he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Now Absalom had commanded his servants, saying, Mark ye now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine. And when I say unto you, Smite Amnon, then kill him, fear not, have not I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant. And the servants of Absalom did unto Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man gat him up on his mule and fled.
You know, this is very similar to the myth of how Odysseus. Oh, hey, look
Thank
at that!
you.
Thanks, buddy.
there you go.
Clear Mountain Dew, the sponsor for
Nothing.
Blocky Atheists.
We'd like.
Clear Mountain Dew. Drink it because it's clear.
Really care.
Yep. Okay, so they kill this guy.
But hold on, I was finishing the thought. So they specifically kill him when he's drunk.
Yeah,
This is
the Red Wedding.
This is kind of similar, and I say kind of similar because it's not like straight up a parallel. Kind of similar to how Odysseus blinded the Cyclops. I forget the name of the Cyclops, but he had to get him drunk before he could stab out his eye.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of comparative mythology here.
yeah, absolutely.
Crystal Mountain Dew. Yeah. Let's see that.
Yeah, Polyphemus. That's right. Yeah, Polyphemus. Whatever.
Polyphemus. Okay. They killed him. They fled. And it came to pass, when they were in the way, that tidings came to David, saying, Absalom hath slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left. Then the king arose, and tare his garments, and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by their clothes with their clothes rent. And Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, answered and said, Let not my lord suppose that they have slain all the young men, the king's sons. For Amnon only is dead. For the appointment of Absalom, this hath been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore let not my lord the king take this thing to heart, to think all the king's sons are dead, for Amnon only is dead. But Absalom fled, and the young man that kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold!
Behold!
There came much people by the way of the hillside behind him. And Jonadab said unto the king, Behold!
Behold!
The king's sons come, as thy servant said, so it is. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of speaking, that, behold!
Behold!
The king's sons came, and lifted up their voice, and wept. And the king also and all his servants wept very sore. But Absalom fled, and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihud, king of Geshur. And David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled, and went to Geshur, and was there 3 years. And the soul of King David longed to go forth unto Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, seeing he was dead.
All right, so I have a little note here about the spirit of King David.
Mhm.
Oh,
Soul
okay.
here.
Never mind. That's
No?
it was not even important. Not even a good note. Yeah. Anyways, that was chapter 13. Very, very intense chapter in my opinion.
Yes, very
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
We had a rape and a murder and fleeing into Geshur.
Because of the upcoming attempted murder.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was chapter 14. Guys, definitely drop a like if you haven't already. What?
That was chapter 13.
I said chapter 13, didn't I?
No, you said 14.
I did say 14? Oh, shit. Okay, well, that was chapter 13. I hope I said that. And definitely drop a like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Has similarities to Dinah and Shechem from Genesis. Do you remember Dinah and Shechem?
I barely remember that.
Probably mentioned once in Generations or something.
No. I think there was probably a little story there. But I remember someone getting raped in Genesis.
Yes,
Obviously.
someone was raped in Genesis.
Maybe it was that, yeah. I forget the names that go with it. But anyways, let's just jump right into chapter 14. How does that sound?
Yeah,
Okay, I will get us started.
and while you're doing that, I'll look up the Dinah and Shechem story.
Okay. Now Joab, the son of Zeruiah, knew that the king's heart went out to Absalom, and Joab sent to Tekoa and brought from there a wise woman, and said to her, Pretend to be a mourner, and put on mourning garments. Do not anoint yourself with oil, but behave like a woman who has been mourning many days for the dead. Go to the king and speak thus to him. So Joab put the words in her mouth. When the woman of Tekoa came to the king, she fell on her face to the ground and paid homage and said, Save me, O king! And the king said to her, What is your trouble? She answered, Alas, I am a widow. My husband is dead, and your servant had 2 sons, and they quarreled with one another in the field. There was no one to separate them, and one struck the other and killed him. And now the whole clan has risen against your servant. And they say, Give up the man who struck his brother, that we may put him to death for the life of his brother whom he killed. Because that's what you do. When,
Style at the time.
yeah, just, murder for murder.
Well, this is what happens in Genesis 34. So Jacob's sons go out and they convince this guy who's a prince. This prince rapes Dinah, and they're like, well, we'll let you go, but you and everyone in your area has to become circumcised.
Oh, okay.
And then
okay.
when they're all sore from being circumcised, Jacob's sons come in and they murder everybody.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic Bible.
Add that to the bad list.
And so they... Oh my god, if we wanted a bad list, we could just put the Bible in the bad list.
Oh, shoot.
And take out, like, a couple good things that were said.
A couple cherry-picked nice things.
Yeah, exactly. And so they would destroy the air also. Thus they would quench my coal that is left and leave to my husband neither name nor remnant on the face of the earth. Then the king said to the woman, go to your house, and I will give orders concerning you. And the woman of Tekoa said to the king, on me be the guilt, my lord the king, and on my father's house let the king and his throne be guiltless. The king said, if anyone says anything to you, bring him to me, and he shall never touch you again. Okay?
What?
If anyone says anything to you, I'm going to make sure they don't touch you again.
What verse is this?
That was strange. 10.
10. Whoever saith aught unto thee, bring him to me, and he shall not touch thee anymore.
That's just weird. Anyways, then she said, please let the king invoke the Lord your God, that the avenger of blood kill no more. Ooh, I remember the avenger of blood.
Yes.
You remember that? I like the avenger of blood.
Of course, mine says the Revengers of Blood.
The Revengers.
Oh, wow. Can we make a show called
The Revengers. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. That sounds like a great show.
The Revengers of Blood,
No,
Season
no.
2.
No editing, so we're just murdering people. Please let the king invoke the Lord your God, that the avenger of blood kill no more, and my son be not destroyed. He said, as the Lord lives, not one hair on your son shall fall to the ground. Then the woman said, please let your servant speak a word to my lord the king. He said, speak. Wait, hold on. The woman said, please let your servant... Oh, so she's referring to herself as her servant. As his servant, okay.
Yes.
And the woman said, why then have you planned such a thing against the people of God? For in giving this decision, the king convicts himself, inasmuch as the king does not bring his banished one home again. Sounds very lawyery to me.
Yes.
We must all die. We are all... I'm fucking this up. We are like water spilled on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. But God will not take away life, and he devises means so that the banished one will not remain an outcast. So the funny thing is, yes, he does
Like with
take
Cain.
away life. What?
Well, like with Cain, he
Or-
devises means that the banished one will not be an outcast.
Sure. Specifically made him an outcast.
Yeah. So that he wouldn't be an outcast.
Yeah. Wow, consistency, guys. This book is filled with it. Now I have come to say this to my lord the king, because the people have made me afraid, and your servant thought, I will speak to the king. It may be that the king will perform the request of his servant, for the king will hear and deliver his servant from the hand of the man who would destroy me and my son together from the heritage of God. And your servant thought, the word of my lord the king will set me at rest. For my lord the king is like the angel of God to discern good and evil. The Lord your God be with you. So, that's a lot of dick sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, who was it? Was it Joab that put all these words in her mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God's gay.
Then the king answered the woman, do not hide from me anything I ask you. And the woman said, let my lord the king speak. Just interrupts him to say that. The king said, Is the hand of Joab with you in all of this?" The woman answered and said, "As surely as you live, my lord the king, one cannot turn to the right hand or to the left from anything that my lord the king has said. It was your servant Joab who commanded me. It was he who put all these words in the mouth of your servant. In order to change the course of things, your servant Joab did this." Snitches get stitches. "But my Lord has wisdom like the wisdom of the angel of God to know all things that are on earth." Then the king said to Joab, "Behold! Now I grant this. Go, bring back the young man Absalom." And Joab fell on his face to the ground and paid homage and blessed the king. And Joab said, "Today your servant knows that I have found favor in your sight, my lord the king, in that the king has granted the request of his servant." So, the way Joab is interpreting this is, okay, so obviously David doesn't want to be lied to. He doesn't want to be tricked into anything. So he calls out this woman for being in cahoots with Joab.
Yes.
And when he says, "Joab, please go do this thing for me," Joab is like, "Oh, thank you. I know that I have found favor in your eyes." That's his interpretation of the event.
Yeah.
That's a terrible interpretation. Joab, you fucking idiot.
You idiot, you didn't get favor. He asked you to do stuff.
Anyway, so Joab arose and went to Geshur and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, "Let him dwell apart in his own house. He is not to come into my presence." So Absalom lived apart in his own house and did not come into the king's presence. I know, right? Now in all Israel there was no one there was no one so much to be praised for his handsome appearance as Absalom. Okay? From the sole of his foot to the crown of his head there was no blemish in him. And when he cut the hair of his head, for at the end of every year he used to cut it, when it was heavy on him, he cut it. He weighed the hair of his head 200 shekels by the king's weight.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure he did.
Goldilocks over here has got some real hair problems.
Shekel was about 11 grams. So 200 shekels. That's a lot of grams. What?
That's 44.
What are you pointing at?
The thing above Rachel's comment.
He's serious,
Okay.
being gold.
We're getting an advertisement for saviorofmankind.com
God.
in our chat.
Whatever. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for the traffic,
Yeah.
savior of mankind.
Thank you. We really like it. Where was I? So he's this hot guy, apparently,
Yep.
who grows hair really fucking fast.
Yep.
He grows 11 pounds of hair. I'm sorry, that's what I computed it as. He grows 11 pounds of hair.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
A year? Yeah.
Yes. There were born to Absalom 3 sons and 1 daughter whose name was Tamar. She was a beautiful woman. Wait, hold on.
So he names his daughter after his sister.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Great. This is the best story ever.
Amazing story. Amazing. So Absalom lived 2 full years in Jerusalem without coming into the king's presence. Then Absalom sent for Joab to send him to the king, but Joab would not come to him. And he sent a second time, but Joab would not come to him. Then he said to his servants, "See, Joab's field is next to mine, and he has barley there. Go and set it on fire." That's
Whoa.
all right. So Absalom's servants set the field on fire. Then Joab arose and went to Absalom at his house and said to him, "Why have your servants set my field on fire?"
Yeah, that's a good question.
Absalom answered Joab, "Behold!
Behold!
I sent word to you. Come here, that I may send you to the king to ask, why have I come from Geshur?" Wait. It would be better for me to be there still. So he wanted Joab to go ask the king why the king. I saw that, Chris.
But I'm going to see if you saw it.
So to see if the king had a reason why he sent for Absalom.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't he have just went and asked him?
Well, no, because he's not allowed to see the king.
Oh, that's right. He isn't.
Yeah.
Still, why do you fucking burn this guy's fucking shit? Like, that's not...
He wasn't getting a response.
Well, you left me
Like,
on red.
You know, if you're texting a girl and you don't get a response fast enough, you just go burn down her house.
Oh, yeah, obviously. I do that all the time.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, you know what? I fully understand Absalom's predicament here. I fully understand it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, therefore, let me go into the presence of the king, and if there is guilt in me, let him put me to death. Then Joab went to the king and told him, and he summoned Absalom. So he came to the king and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom, because David is probably gay, or no, he's probably bi. So
Well,
he's
it's
probably
also
bi.
his son who he hasn't seen in years.
That too, but also incest.
I mean, I don't think you have to jump to the conclusion that they're having incestuous sex.
Maybe I want to.
Maybe you do want to.
At this point, I don't know what's implied.
Like, David's got a lot of kids for someone who had a hard-on for Jonathan.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's probably bi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guess. So that was chapter 14, and you know we seem to be getting some interference again.
Oh, wow. What
This
could be
is
happening?
happening a lot recently.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Jesus is just all right with me.
Yeah, that's wow. That happened last time too. I don't understand why Jesus keeps just hopping in here.
Wow, Jesus must really approve of us.
Yeah, that was
Proof of us.
that was amazing.
Exist.
Yep.
Thanks, Jesus. Man,
Thanks,
Jesus
Jesus.
always has some good words to say.
Yeah, always.
He's not here yet.
Yeah, too bad. Seriously, I bet he's still fucking streaming.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Steve. Fucking told us that he'd be coming on the show.
Once we get to the New Testament, we should have a Moses lookalike.
Makes sense, yeah. All right, well, that was chapter 14. Drop a like if you have not. Share the stream around. Just go.
And then when we do
go
the
to-
Quran,
go
we
to-
could have a Muhammad impersonator.
Oh, great! That's the end of us.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So definitely just go up into that URL that I know you probably see right up there and copy and then paste it somewhere else.
Yeah, I bet anywhere would do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or if
That
you're
easy.
on mobile, just
That easy.
press the share button.
Yes, and there's a thing that says copy link, or you can share it directly to other platforms.
Wow.
Amazing. Technology.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Anyways, chapter 15. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses, and 50 men to run before him. Why?
Are they iron chariots?
No, they're not iron chariots.
Just normal.
So he's not there to scare the shit out of God.
Okay.
Yeah.
God's very easily frightened by those things.
And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called out unto him, and said, Of what city art thou? And he said, Thy servant is of the tribes of Israel. And Absalom said unto him, See, thy manners are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, Moreover, Oh, that I were made a judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or cause might come unto me, and I would do him justice. And it was so, that when any man came nigh unto him to do obeisance, he put forth his hand, and took him, and kissed him. And on this manner did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. And
Wow.
it came to pass, after 40 years, that Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode at Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. And the king said unto him, Go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sounds of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. And with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, the Gilonite, David's counselor, from the city, even from Gilo, while he offered his sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. And there came a messenger to David, saying, The hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, Arise, and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly, and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servants said unto the king, Behold!
Behold!
Thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. And the king went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women, which were concubines, to keep the house. And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in a place that was far off. And his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and the Pelethites, and the Gittites, 600 men, which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ittai the Gittite, Wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place, and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger, and also an exile. So apparently, David here is forgetting the rules about, respecting strangers, because he was a stranger in the land.
Yeah, he was a stranger.
Yeah.
David just happily killed the last few strangers he ran into after they explained themselves.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
that Egyptian guy.
The fucking, was it the Philistine guy, too? I think it was a Philistine.
Oh, yeah.
He piped one. And said,
No, it was a,
Amalekite?
it
Or
was
Ammonite?
Ammonite, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was an Ammonite.
and an Egyptian, and he just killed them because they were strangers.
He just killed that random dude. Like,
Yeah, fucking strangers.
So that's how David thinks strangers get treated.
yeah.
Just kill them.
Whereas,
Blame the Bible.
Blame the Bible.
yeah. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day make thee go up and down with us? Seeing I go whither I may, return thou, and take back thy brethren, mercy and truth be with thee. And Ittai answered the king and said, As the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, surely, in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also will thy servant be. And David said to Ittai, Go and pass over. And Ittai the Gittite passed over, and all his men, and all the little ones that were with him. And all the country wept with a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron. And all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness, trying to one-up Moses here. And lo, Zadok also, and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God. And, there was really no, build-up to this part where they all have the ark of the covenant,
Right,
though.
right.
Usually they make a big deal out of it, and they're like, they sent
true,
for
they
the
do.
ark, and the ark was here for 6
This
years.
does seem out of place, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially because they're talking about Zadok, and Zadok is I think he's the grandson, or he's part of the line of Aaron.
Yeah.
So he is a priest. So later, the priesthood was called the Zadokite priesthood. Zadokite priesthood is just a more specific Aaronid priesthood.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jonah's one has crossed the Kidron Valley instead of the brook.
All right. Well, I'm not 100% sure which one it is. But either way, I'm gonna pull this up because I'm very interested to see if it's actually part of the story or a later placement.
Well, while you're looking at that, I'll continue.
Sure.
And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again, and show me both it and his habitation. But if he thus say, I have... so this is interesting. You've got your statue theory, right?
Yeah.
But here, David is specifically saying that if God has favor with him, the ark being returned to Jerusalem, David will then return to Jerusalem and see both the ark and his habitation being the habitation of the Lord, where the Lord lives.
That would be the temple, I guess. Well, or it would be the Holy of Holies, but in this sense, it would just be the ark because that's where he lived.
Right.
Yeah.
And obviously they no longer have the same, what was it? The tent?
Yeah, they don't have
the tabernacle.
Tabernacle, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the same tabernacle as the one that was in Exodus. Which, by the way, terrible part of that book.
It's just fucking awful.
Yeah.
Just the worst.
If I could list one reason why I stopped reading the Bible, it was the lists in that section.
Yeah.
So, it does look like these guys placed it as original, but it does seem kind of off.
Okay. But if he thus say, I have no delight in thee, behold!
Behold!
Here am I. Let him do to me as seemeth good to him. The king said also to Zadok the priest, Art not thou a seer? Return to the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz thy son, and Jonathan the son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness, until there come word from you to certify me. Zadok, therefore, and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent of the Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot, and all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up, weeping as they went up. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness.
Turn them into foolishness. That is an interesting way of, saying make them retarded or something? Is that what's going on? Or make them fail so that they seem like fools or something?
Well, he wants, because Ahithophel is his counselor, and now working as counselor for Absalom.
Sure.
He wants his counsel to be shitty counsel.
Okay.
Yeah. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshipped God, behold! Hushai the Archite came to meet him, with his coat rent and earth upon his head. Unto day of
Hold on, that's very similar to Tamar, right? She put ashes on her head and tore the long robe that she wore.
Right, it's a grievance thing.
Yeah.
Unto whom David said, If thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant hitherto, so will I now be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priests? Therefore it shall be that what thing soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. Behold,
Behold!
they have there with them their 2 sons, Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. And by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye can hear. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem.
Well, that was that. That was chapter 15.
Chapter 15.
Drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream so far. It really does help us out.
And Steve is still debating what atheism is.
Yeah, exactly. He actually messaged me. I was like, I hope you're going to be able to make it eventually. And he said, this is a long-needed discussion. And I was like, well, we're going to be going for a while today, so maybe he'll join at some point. I'm not sure. But hopefully he does, and maybe he'll get in here and we'll make him read a chapter and then just fucking boot him or some shit. So, amazing. Guys, if you want to catch the show every week, just click that notification bell.
Yeah, which apparently is the new subscribe button.
Apparently, yeah, because you don't get notifications otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if I go on a studio mode,
Also, if you just...
What are you
What
doing?
the hell are you
What's
doing,
he doing?
I
Chris?
can share,
Okay.
and then I do this. Now it's ringing like a bell. Ooh, look at that.
What?
Wow. There you go.
I don't even know what he's doing.
I gotta make this bell shaped, don't I? That
Oh,
would,
okay.
That would work.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
Awful.
Like,
I
Just
guess.
awful.
is it, no, that
It-
just zooms it in and out.
I mean,
Okay. You know what? Let's just
well, that
continue
was,
reading.
okay.
Okay. Chapter 16.
Chapter 16.
When David had passed a little beyond the summit, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him with a couple of donkeys saddled, bearing 200 loaves of bread, 100 bunches of raisins, 100 of summer fruits, and a skin of wine. And the king said to Ziba, Why have you brought these? Ziba answered, The donkeys are for the king's household to ride on. Because, as we all know, they love riding on ass. They love that ass.
Yep.
Love riding ass.
Hopefully these donkeys can talk, too.
Yeah, we haven't seen a talking donkey in a while.
Yeah, there have been talking donkeys in this book, though.
Yeah.
God.
The
Oh,
donkeys are for the king's household to ride on, the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine for those who faint in the wilderness to drink. Alcohol doesn't really help.
Yeah. No.
It really doesn't.
Guys, the picture behind you is an ass with a dude who fell off who's drunk.
No, actually, that's something else. That's something, we'll get to that. That's going to be the last chapter of today.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. But yeah, no, wine does not help.
No.
Actually,
It makes you dehydrated.
Exactly. And here's the thing. So when pirates had, they would take on big, jugs of water, right? But the thing is, something would always end up living there. Some sort of mold would come up. Something would form in the water.
Yeah.
So in order to sanitize the water, they mixed it with rum.
Right.
And created grog. That's the original grog, just watered down rum. But the thing is, so now they had this watered down rum, and that's all they had to drink, ever. So they were, in fact, perpetually drunk.
It's not good for you.
It's really not.
Not.
Um,
But it's better than mold.
it's what?
Better than mold.
Yeah, it
Well,
is better than mold.
sometimes the mold can give you, psychedelic hallucinations. And
Okay, it's still better than mold.
Ooh.
And the king said, "And where is your master's son?" Ziba said to the king, "Behold!
Behold!
He remains in Jerusalem, for he said, 'Today the house of Israel will give me back the kingdom of my father.'" Then the king said to Ziba, "Behold! All that belonged to Mephibosheth is now yours." And Ziba said, "I pay homage. Let me ever find favor in your sight, my lord the king." When David came to Bahurim, there came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shammai, the son of Gera. And as he came, he cursed continually. Sounds like a nice guy. I'd like to chill with that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
He has, what's it called?
Tourette's.
Tourette's, thank you. And he threw stones at David.
And he twitched out.
And at all the servants of King David, and all the people, and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And Shammai said, as he cursed, get out, you man of blood, you worthless man. The Lord has avenged on you all the blood of the house of Saul." So
Come out, thou bloody man, thou man of Belial.
Yeah. So this guy seems like a Saul, well, a Saul supporter, but like what
He's from Saul's family,
I understand.
and he's pissed off.
Yeah, I understand. He's well, I forget the word I'm thinking of, but whatever. The Lord has avenged on you all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose place you have reigned, and the Lord has given the kingdom into the hand of your son Absalom. See, your evil is on you, for you are a man of blood. I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah.
This dude's right. Well, and also he's killed tens of thousands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, said to the king, "Why should the dead dog curse my lord the king? Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over and take off his head." But the king said, "What have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah? If he is cursing because the Lord has said to him, 'Curse David,' who then shall say, 'Why have you done so?'" And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, "Behold,
Behold!
my own son seeks my life. How much more now may this How much more now may this Benjaminite? Leave him alone and let him curse, for the Lord has told him to." I don't think it said anywhere that the Lord had told him to.
No,
Or
it really
did he?
didn't.
And it didn't even. He said that the Lord has avenged on you all the blood, but that doesn't mean that he's even saying the Lord sent him.
No, he isn't.
That's a cognitive disconnect there.
It may be that the Lord will look on the wrong done to me, and that the Lord will repay me with good for his cursing today. So David and his men went on the road, while Shammai went along on the hillside opposite him and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and flung dust. And the king and all the people who were with him arrived weary at the Jordan, and there he refreshed himself.
So this whole time he's just kicking and screaming and throwing dust and rocks?
Yeah, just following David.
Following them, being an asshole?
Yeah.
Telling them off the whole time, middle fingers and throwing rocks.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. All right.
Asshole.
Now Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, although he was already in Jerusalem, right? Yeah, so Hushai,
It
David's
mentioned that
just as Absalom was entering Jerusalem.
in 37 of chapter 15
Yes.
says that he came to Jerusalem.
But now, again, he's coming to Jerusalem.
Yes.
Wow, look
Now Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom, okay, I feel like what we just read before this is out of place. Do you not feel that way? Because it's just taking the characters that we talked about at the end of chapter 15.
Right. This is like a weird cutaway. It's a non sequitur.
It is a non sequitur.
Yeah, I figured.
It is a non sequitur, which is why it would have been very nice to have had Steve here. Now I am currently what was this? This is chapter 16, right? And apparently they put it all together, but it doesn't really seem like it should be together. So that's just weird. Whatever. It doesn't even really have much of a
Context.
well, it doesn't really have any even good commentary on that specifically.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a bummer. Whatever. It's better than nothing.
Is it?
Yes.
Have you had nothing before?
No, I guess that's true. I don't know what it's like to have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on,
So
but
And not any.
hold
of
on.
that.
It's not.
it's not on.
Okay.
It's on.
Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading while
It's not on
these guys deal with their thing.
Okay, we're back.
Is it back?
Okay.
All I had to do was flick that.
Okay, gotcha. What were you saying?
Oh.
Maybe it is the battery on this end too. Who knows?
Could be
Okay,
both.
I'm gonna keep reading. All right.
That's fine.
So, where the hell was I? Okay, so they entered the land, and when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, came to Absalom, Hushai said to Absalom, "Long live the king! Long live the king!" And Absalom said to Hushai, "Is this your loyalty to your friend? Why did you not go with your friend?" And Hushai said to Absalom, "No, for whom the Lord,
good.
Okay.
and this people and all the men of Israel have chosen, his I will be, and with him I will remain. And again, whom should I serve? Should it not be his son? As I have served your father, so I will serve you."
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this so far?
This is like a really slow and poorly written version of Game of Thrones right now.
Where's the dragons? They show up yet?
They're in Revelations.
And it seems like Hushai is very... he doesn't really care who's king. He just wants to follow.
Yeah.
Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, "Give your counsel. What shall we do?" Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Go into your father's concubines." Okay.
Well, I mean, Hushai is just doing what David told him to do.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So Ahithophel said to Absalom, "Go in to your father's concubines, whom he has left to keep the house, and all Israel will hear that you have made yourself a stench to your father, and the hands of all who are with you will be strengthened." So they pitched a tent for Absalom, because he's just so fucking hot, on the roof. And Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. Now in those days, the counsel that Ahithophel gave was as if one consulted the word of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel esteemed, both by David and by Absalom. Okay.
Wow. That's the end of chapter 16.
Yeah, that's the end of chapter 16. Drop a like, share, subscribe if you haven't.
So,
Sharing is caring, guys.
so
Sharing is really caring.
they're staying in character. Absalom is still hot shit
Yep.
and is getting around. You know, maybe this is... I don't think they ever brought this up in the time that I went to Sunday school.
This whole
which was
section,
like
Probably
10
never,
years.
yeah.
this whole section seems foreign.
It's very weird. Now it does have some flow with the rest of it, but not. It's just weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a nice little story. No, well,
Better
nice,
than the
quote unquote.
first ones.
Okay. I
This
guess,
shit is pretty sick. God's a weird motherfucker.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. So, let's jump right into chapter 17.
Chapter 17. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom.
Good job.
Thanks, Ahithophel.
That was really amazing.
I felt like I was right
Ahithophel's
there.
words are just resonating with me.
Yeah, I
right
felt like
now.
I was there. It was
Well,
so
you know,
real.
I was giving you the Hebrew. It goes like,
Thank you. Thanks.
let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and we will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only. And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seekest is as if all returned, so the people shall be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai came to Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time.
At this time.
For, said Hushai, thou knowest...
You know what's really weird? It says it's not good at this time, but earlier we are told that the counsel of Ahithophel that Ahithophel gave was as if one consulted the word of God. And it was esteemed
Yeah.
by both Absalom and David. So, bit of a contradiction there, if you ask me.
Right. But obviously Hushai has been sent as a double agent by David in order to screw up all the counsel that Ahithophel is putting forward.
Sure.
So
You got espionage going on here.
says,
Yeah.
For, said Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold,
Behold!
he is hid now in some pit, or in some other place, and it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he is also that is valiant, whose heart is at the heart of a lion. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt, for all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then we shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river, until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom...
Is that not excessive as hell?
It is excessive. It is the definition of excessive.
You think this is just
Let's
meant to
drag
be...
the entire city down.
with ropes
With
With
ropes.
ropes.
into the water.
Even in the smallest rock.
Yeah.
And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel.
I doubt that they said that.
Yeah. For the Lord had appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Therefore, send quickly and tell David, saying, "Lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest that the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him." Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by Enrogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench went and told them, and they went and told the king David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them, and told Absalom. But they went, both of them, away quickly, and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And a woman took and spread covering over the well's mouth, and spread ground corn thereon, and the thing was not known.
Except by the people writing this, apparently.
Yeah. And when Absalom's servants came to Ahimaaz, when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, "Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan?" And the woman said unto them, "They had gone over the brook of water, and they had sought and could not find them. They returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto David, Arise, and pass quickly over the water. For thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. By the morning light there lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw this, that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gat him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself and died.
Yep.
And was buried in the sepulchre of his father.
So who just died here?
Ahithophel.
yeah.
Oh, so now they can't have his counsel anymore.
Yeah. Is that the first suicide in the Bible?
Well, no.
No,
No.
Saul.
Because, yeah, Saul
Saul.
fell on
Right.
his sword, right?
Fell on his sword.
Yeah.
But
that
this is
didn't
the
kill
first
him.
hanging that I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
This is the first successful suicide because somebody still had to kill Saul.
I'm pretty sure this is I'm positive this is the first hanging, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a hanging later.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra, an Israelite. Went to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass, when David was come to Mahanaim, that Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beads and basins and earthen vessels, and wheat and barley and flour, and parched corn and beans and lentil and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David, and for
That
the
is a lot
people
of
that
stuff.
were with him.
That is
to
a
eat.
lot of
That's
stuff.
the list.
Yeah. It's, wow. Beds and basins and earthly vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine. Yeah. For David and for the people that were with him to eat, for they said, the people is hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness.
Oh, man. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
People hungry and thirsty in the wilderness? In the
New-
Bible?
new
no,
stuff.
No, this is absolutely new.
Original.
Wow. Absolutely no.
Although this is probably served as like some groundwork for the Lost in the Wilderness
Yeah.
motif. Or not
that's-
motif, but the entire narrative.
They just brought so much crap with them.
Yes, they did. Lots of stuff.
Beds.
Yeah,
And basins.
yeah.
For the
they
beds.
had a whole fucking caravan.
Could you carry around a box spring and a mattress and a metal frame for every single soldier?
I would No.
Including, just for yourself. Bring your own stuff.
How did they carry this? Because they don't say that...
BYOB, bring your own bed.
right, but they don't say that they brought their servants with them or people with them. It just lists 3 people, and they're like, they
Yep.
brought all this shit.
They brought all of it.
How
by
could they do
themselves.
that?
They were hauling ass, man.
Are we not on the last chapter?
We are.
We are chapter 18.
Yes, we're now
Wow.
on chapter 18.
And I've
Drop a
seen-
like if you guys are enjoying the stream.
Yeah.
Really helps us out.
It seems as though Steve will not be joining
Yeah,
us
it
today.
seems like
We'll have
Steve
to
won't be
change the
joining
title to Without Steve McRae.
Yeah, that's all we have. We just have to edit that little bit.
us. Yeah. We're gonna fix that after the show. Because damn it, Steve.
Yeah. Oh well.
God damn it, Bobby.
We even have like the Google Hangout thing set up where we're like, hey, join when you can, and that is obviously not going well. So,
Yeah.
oh my god, I bet once we're done with this, we'll just go fucking
It'd be in his stream.
yeah, I'm gonna fucking join.
Let's join after
I'm
this.
gonna,
Hurry!
We're gonna
Rush
fucking join,
read.
and we're gonna
Gotta
fucking
finish this
rate
chapter
it.
to do it.
Okay.
And then no commentary. We don't.
We don't say anything. We just kind of sit there and
We
stare
just
into the camera.
Throw
Yeah.
feces.
Yeah. Then David mustered all the men, or did he ketchup them? Okay, I'm
wow.
gonna continue.
Bad.
You
then-
Mayo, stop making jokes.
Let us continue.
Then David.
Horseradish.
Stop. Stop. Jesus.
Relish. I relish that.
Wow.
Then David mustered the men who were with him and set over the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds. And David sent out the army 1/3 under the command of Joab, 1/3 under the command of Abishai the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and 1/3 under the command of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said to the men, I myself will also go out with you. But the men said, You shall not go out.
Man. He was like, can I go out with you? And
No,
I'm like, no.
we shall not.
Ooh.
For if we flee,
Dumped.
I know
Yep.
it sucks. For if we flee, they will not care about us. If half of us die, they will not care about us. But you are worth 10,000 of us, just alone. Holy shit. Therefore, it is better that you send us help from the city. The king said to them, Whatever seems best to you, I will do.
Wow, that's something that Saul would never say.
So the king stood at the side of the gate while all the army marched out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king ordered Joab and Abishai and Ittai, Deal gently for my sake with the young man Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave orders to all the commanders about Absalom. So the army went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was fought in the forest of Ephraim. And the men of Israel were defeated there by the servants of David, and the loss there was great on that day, 20,000 men. The battle spread over the face of all the country, and the forest devoured more people that day than the sword. So they just kind of died in the wilderness, I guess.
Yep.
And Absalom happened to meet the servants of David. Absalom was riding on his mule, and the mule went under the thick branches of a great oak, and his head caught fast in the oak, and he was suspended between heaven and earth.
There it is, guys.
Yep, there it is. That's the picture in the back. He just kind of got caught, and he was now hanging there. So that's two hangings that happened in very different ways.
Yes.
Yeah,
very
how
different
creative.
ways.
The Bible's got all sorts of ways to hang you.
It's very poetic. Well, I wouldn't say it's very poetic, but it is technically poetic.
So this is the first instance of that scene where someone's riding on a horse and then they
do- like,
hit their head on a
decapitate
tree
themselves.
and get knocked off the horse.
He didn't get knocked off the horse,
No, he got his head
head
caught
stuck,
in
yeah.
the tree.
which I'm not even sure how that would work.
Like if he got decapitated.
I don't think
it
he
looks
did.
like his hair got caught.
Or he snapped his
Something like
neck
that,
or
yeah.
something.
Um,
Oh yeah, his hair looks caught in that branch. For sure.
Well, okay, that's not like a picture of what
That
happened.
picture is exactly what
Well,
happened.
it makes sense because it remarked earlier that his hair grew to 11 pounds.
But it was
Oh,
also
yeah!
very, it was also very heavy.
So
So maybe he's riding fast on his donkey, and his hair's flowing through the wind, and gets caught.
11 pounds of flowing hair.
Yeah, 11 pounds of flowing hair. His neck should be broken.
flows right into snapping his neck.
Where was I? Mule went under him. Yes, suspended between heaven and earth, while the mule that was under him went on. And a certain man saw it and told Joab, Behold!
No.
I saw Absalom hanging in an oak. Joab said to the man who told him, What? You saw him? Why, then, did you not strike him there to the ground? I would have been glad to give you 10 pieces of silver and a belt. But the man said to Joab, Even if I felt in my hand the weight of 1,000 pieces of silver, I would not reach out my hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king commanded you and Abishai and Ittai, for my sake, protect the young man Absalom. And on the other hand, if I had dealt treacherously against his life, and there is nothing hidden from the king, then you yourself would have stood aloof. Joab said, I will not waste time like this with you. And he took 3 javelins in his hand and thrust them into the heart of Absalom while he was still alive in the oak.
He just fucking triple javelined him?
Yes. And 10 young men, Joab's armor bearers, surrounded Absalom and struck him and killed him. So the 3 javelins to his heart didn't kill him. These guys had to kill him.
What a bam.
That's what happened that day. Then Joab blew the trumpet, and the troops came back from pursuing Israel, for Joab restrained them. And they took Absalom and threw him into a great pit in the forest, and raised over him a very great heap of stones. And all Israel fled, every one to his own home. Now Absalom, in his lifetime, had taken and set up for himself the pillar that is in the king's valley, for he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. He called the pillar after his own name, and it is called Absalom's monument to this day.
Is it?
I don't
Sure,
think
whatever.
So. I doubt it.
Every
Gonna look
time.
up.
I'm going to look up
Okay.
Absalom's monument.
He's going to look up Absalom's monument while I take a drink.
Yeah, and I'll just commentate. That was fun.
Thank you. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
Amazing commentating.
Yeah, you know, I try my best.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Every day, all
No,
effort,
you do not.
100%.
You do not.
Never
You don't
stop
even
trying.
try. You don't even
Don't even put in 1%. Damn. Well, he's calling it how it is, folks.
Then Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, so another part of the priesthood, said, Let me run and carry news to the king that the Lord has delivered him from the hand of his enemies. And Joab said to him, You are not to carry news today. You may carry news another day. But today you shall carry no news because the king's son is dead. That seems like a pretty good reason to actually carry news. But okay.
Nah, no one cares.
Then Joab said to the Cushite, Go, tell the king what you have seen. The Cushite bowed before Joab and ran. Then Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, said again to Joab, Come what may, Come what may, let me also run after the Cushite. And Joab said, Why will you run, my son, seeing that you will have no reward for the news? Come what may, he said, I will run. So he said to him, Run. Then Ahimaaz,
Who wrote
these
this?
discussions are awful.
This sounds like a script command. Like
These are terrible
just-
discussions.
Ruben,
Nobody
it
talks
just
like
says run enough times to make it seem like
Yeah.
a script.
So this is the tomb of Absalom.
The tomb. That's different than the monument.
Right, well, it's also called the Monument of Absalom, apparently.
That wouldn't make sense
I
because
can do it for the camera.
Let's see it.
It's got some pillars. Apparently, it's been dated to the 1st century CE.
that didn't go well.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's what. Apparently, it was referred to by Josephus as being the legitimate monument to Absalom.
Okay, Josephus thought
But-
everything was the legitimate something to
Legitimate to
Judaism.
legitimacy.
Right.
Yeah.
But obviously, as we know from your popular Josephus video, Josephus was full of shit, man.
Well, that's not what we find out from my popular Josephus video.
Well, we find out that Josephus was full of shit about something.
No, that was a forgery later placed in Josephus.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Well, we'll have
I'm
to
not
review
sure,
the
okay?
video.
I don't... Oh, my God.
Do you have absolute knowledge
No,
of
I
this?
don't. I do
Can we
not have
finish
absolute
chapter
knowledge.
18? How much
Yes.
is
Anyways,
left?
chapter 18.
Okay. Now David was sitting between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof of the gate by the wall, and when he lifted up his eyes and looked, he saw a man running alone. I mean, I assume there were so many people running here that he had to see someone. The watchman called out and told the king, and the king said, if he is alone, there is news in his mouth. How the fuck do you come to that conclusion? How the fuck do you come to the conclusion that because somebody is running, there is
Alone.
news to be alone? There is news to be heard. Maybe they're out for a fucking jog.
Yeah. Unheard of in this time.
Ridiculous.
Who would be jogging for fun?
And he drew nearer and nearer. The watchman saw another man running, and the watchman called to the gate and said, see, another man running alone. The king said, he also brings news. So there are two people running, but they're both running alone.
Yep. They're running in close proximity to each other,
But
but
they're
they're alone.
Yes.
And they also bring news.
Yes.
Oh, he must have news.
They must. There is absolutely...
This is not an invading force. Don't worry about it.
Okay. The watchman said, I think the running of the first is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok. Dude, this watchman, he pays a lot of attention if he can tell who somebody is just by them running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why, those are the sandal footprints of so-and-so. I'd know
Yep.
them from a mile away.
Yeah.
How? How?
And the king said, he is a good man and comes with good news. Now he knows that it's fucking good news.
Oh, wow. Good news, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Then Ahimaaz carried out to the king, all is well. And he bowed before the king with his face to the earth and said, blessed be the Lord your God, who has delivered up the men who raised their hand against my lord the king. And the king said, is it well with the young man Absalom? Ooh. Ahimaaz answered, when Joab sent the king's servant, your servant, I saw a great commotion, but I do not know what it was. Okay? And the king said, turn aside and stand here. So he turned aside and stood still. And behold!
Behold.
The Cushite came, and the Cushite said, good news!
Go out, the Cushite.
news, everybody.
Yeah.
And the Cushite came, and the Cushite said, good news for my lord the king. For the Lord has delivered you this day from the hand of all who rose up against you. The king said to the Cushite, is it well with the young man Absalom? And the Cushite answered, may the enemies of my lord the king and all who rise up against you for evil be like that young man. And the king was deeply moved and went up to the chamber over the gate and wept. And as he went, he said, oh, my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would I had died instead of you, O Absalom, my son, my son.
You had the option.
That's true.
He literally had the option.
He really did. Well, that was that.
A very interesting episode without Steve McRae.
Yeah. Atheist Sunday School without Steve McRae.
Yes, we have to
Yeah.
remind them that he wasn't included.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna take out his name.
Aw,
from
he
there.
can't have without.
No,
Oh.
I don't want to do that.
Oh.
Well, then people won't get the joke.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave it in the description.
Thanks.
Wow.
Context.
Yep, you're welcome. So that was that. Thank you if you stuck around for the whole episode. Kind of decently long.
Yeah.
An hour and 33 minutes so
Yes,
far.
I see that.
Decently long. Not the longest episode we've ever done.
No, that's like
Not
2
the
hours.
That was
shortest
one with
episode
Aaron.
we've ever done.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Drop a like if you enjoyed the stream.
Outro music. Not yet because, well, I don't know. What would be
We
a
could
good?
do that.
I'm pretty lazy. We could have done it a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last show of the year, so
Oh, right. It is the last show of the year.
yeah.
Okay. So
100-point show.
no, oh my God. So everybody, definitely go check out all the links in the description because some of those are pretty important. I see Nightbot kind of putting in those links too.
Yeah.
So just as a happy holidays, that stuff is there for us.
We have a wish list.
Yeah, but you'll enjoy that stuff too. We post stuff on social media
Yeah.
quite a bit. Getting more active on Twitter.
Wow.
Lots of arguments going on, usually including Steve, because it's Steve.
Wow, good job, Steve.
Yeah. So thanks guys so much for joining us. And
Remember to get your dogs and cats spayed and neutered.
Because that guy died and he can't remind you anymore.
And yeah, that guy died. He can't remind you anymore.
wait, which guy was that?
Oh, Price is Right
Trebek?
guy.
Oh,
Wasn't
Barker?
Trebek.
Parker.
Parker.
Yeah, Parker.
Did he die?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
They're all the same.
Okay. Anyway, I don't think he did.
He did it to death. He did the Price is Right to death.
Yes.
I mean,
Then he was replaced by
no, I think
that guy from Ohio.
Oh my God, we'll fucking look it up.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's Bob Barker.
Bob.
yeah.
Yeah, and happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's. Good, whatever. Anyways, we will see you
Next Sunday.